Welcome to Messages from the Universe with Laurie Wondra. Laurie is an internationally renowned psychic medium, author, and shamanic practitioner, sharing insights from angels, guides, wisdom keepers, and teachers of the universe that help you navigate life's mysteries and transformations.
Hello, I am Laurie Wondra, and thank you for listening. Today's podcast is The Gift of Presence, grounding in light and love at the turning of the year. As we round out this cycle, it is important to remember the light that we are and the ability that we have to ground ourselves into that light. So before we jump into that, let's talk about the true meaning of presence. Because as the world rushes into the flurry of the holiday seasons, the lights that twinkle in windows, packages begin to pile up beneath the trees, and lists of things to do grow ever longer. The hum of activity fills the air. Gatherings, shopping, responsibilities, planning, preparing, all in service to a celebration meant to honor love, connection, and renewal. Yet in all that doing and running, and oftentimes stress, we lose touch with simply being. Every year this contrast grows sharper, and presence versus presence. The giving of gifts can be beautiful. It's a tangible expression of love and appreciation, but in the deeper sense, the most sacred gift we can ever offer another is not wrapped in paper or adorned with ribbons. It is the gift of our presence, our full conscious attention, our undivided awareness, our heart truly here and now. It is not purchased or bought at the mall. It is being present in the energy that you are. To be present is to say to another, I see you, I feel you, you matter. It's to say to ourselves, I am here, I am alive, and this moment is sacred. And in a world spinning ever faster, where technology, distraction, and fear seems to pull us out of our bodies and away from the moment, the ability to be present becomes a revolutionary act. We have to actually sit and focus on being present to something that is so inherently part of our core being. It is a spiritual practice, a healing art, and perhaps most importantly, an act of love. As we close out this year and humanity stands at another great turning point, presence becomes not only a personal choice, but a collective responsibility. We're being asked to ground light into this changing world, to embody calm amid the chaos, and to remember that the most powerful way to uplift humanity is by showing up fully in your heart, in your mind, in your body, and in your soul, and in the moment now. Presence is a spiritual state. It's not simply a mental focus or a meditative state. It is the embodiment of soul, the full awareness that the divine is expressing through you in this very moment. When you are present, you are aligned with the heartbeat of creation. You are attuned to what mystics call the eternal now, where time dissolves and truth reveals itself. In presence, the chatter of the mind quiets, the past loosens its grip, and the future loses its pull. What remains is a field of stillness, of awareness, the space where love, intuition, and clarity dwell. Presence is what allows us to hear the subtle whisper of guidance from the higher self. It is what allows healing to occur, relationships to deepen, creativity to flow, and peace to gain root. It's where we find God, not in a distant heaven, but here in the breath, in the beating of the heart, in the beauty of being fully alive. When we live in presence, we become instruments of divine harmony. Our words, our actions, and even our energy radiate coherence. Others feel calmer, safer, more open simply by being near us. This is how light spreads. It's not by preaching or forcing, but by embodying the presence so completely that others remember it within themselves. There's nothing inherently wrong with giving gifts. The act of giving is sacred when it flows from love and not obligation. Yet much of our modern holiday giving has become these entangled patterns of consumerism and unconscious compensation, trying to fill emotional emptiness with material things or equating worth with quantity. The word present itself is a beautiful irony. We call a gift a present, yet so often we give it while our mind is somewhere else. We're rushing to the next errand, checking our phone, thinking of what we still need to do on our list. In focusing on the material, we sometimes forget that the most profound gift we can offer is simply our presence. Our loved ones, especially children, remember not what we gave them, but how we made them feel. They remember if we looked into their eyes, if we listened to their stories, if we laughed with them or held them when they cried. Presence imprints love in the energetic field. It weaves threads of connection that last long after the material item fades. In spiritual terms, presents are temporary symbols. Presence is eternal essence. The physical world is always in motion. Gifts are given, used, and then sometimes, many times, forgotten. But presence is the energy of the soul expressing love in real time, and that is the true currency of spirit. Being present at this time in humanity is so important. We're living in a threshold moment, a time when the frequency of earth and human consciousness is accelerating, and many are feeling this. Time seems to move faster, emotions feel more intense, and the collective energy feels both chaotic and full of potential. This is not random. Humanity is in the midst of a profound energy shift, what mystics and shamans and starseeds have long described as the awakening of collective consciousness. To walk through such a time demands awareness. It asks us to be present, not swept up in fear or distraction, but anchored in heart and grounded in love. It demands we be here and now in this moment. And when we are present, we anchor light into density. Our awareness stabilizes the energetic field around us. And this is not metaphorically, it is physics, pure physics. Coherent heart energy creates measurable electromagnetic stability that radiates into and out into the collective. A single human being in full heart coherence can positively influence hundreds, if not thousands of others. So when you practice presence, you are not only healing yourself, you're healing humanity. You are contributing to the vibration of all. Presence is the antidote to panic. It's what prevents us from reacting from fear and allows us to respond from wisdom. It's what keeps us grounded when news cycles spiral with chaos, and what allows compassion when the world feels so divided. Being present now, truly present, is part of our service to earth. We are the bridges between spirit and matter, between heaven and earth, and through our consciousness, light enters this plane. Presence is how we transmit that light. Now, what is the energetic cost of absence of being present? Well, absence is not simply physical distance. It's energetic disconnection. You can be sitting in a room with someone and still be absent. You could be thinking of something else. You could be checking your phone, replaying an old argument or conversation in your mind, or even worrying about tomorrow, something that hasn't yet even happened. But your body is there, but your energy is not. And when this happens on a collective scale, humanity begins to lose coherence. We drift into separation, judgment, and fear. The mind dominates, the body tenses, and the soul feels distant. The absence leads to anxiety, loneliness, and the illusion of isolation, when in truth, we are deeply interconnected. And presence heals this fracture. It brings the soul back into the body, the heart back into awareness, and love back into action. When we reclaim presence, we reclaim our power. The more we practice returning to now, the stronger our energetic field becomes. We become unshakable, not because life stops changing, but because we are fully here for it. We are no longer living from reaction, but from embodiment. We aren't out there. We are here. So how do we cultivate presence? Well, presence is a practice, one that deepens through intention and repetition. It's not something we master. It's something we continually return to. You know how to do this. It's forgetting or becoming disconnected. Here are a few ways to strengthen your connection, to remember what you already know. 1, slow down. Modern life conditions us to hurry, to multitask, to measure worth by productivity. But presence cannot exist in speed. To become present, we must slow the body and mind enough to receive life as it unfolds. Pause before responding. Take 3 conscious breaths before entering a room. Walk slower, eat slower, speak slower. Let your body remember what stillness feels like. And when you slow down, your nervous system shifts from fight or flight to safety and connection. And this allows your energy field to open and your awareness to expand. The soul can only speak when the noise of the world softens. 2, breathe with awareness. The breath is the gateway to presence. It anchors spirit into body and unites mind and heart. And whenever you feel scattered, anxious, or disoriented, or disconnected, return to your breath. Inhale. Feel it move in through your heart. And exhale, releasing the tension, any fear, any thought. And with each breath, imagine light moving through your body, grounding you into the earth. Watch what is allowed to leave you. Watch or experience what's allowed to come in. And just breathe. A simple 3-breath ritual can transform any moment. Breathe in love. Breathe out gratitude. Breathe in presence. You'll feel your energy recalibrate immediately. 3, ground in nature. Earth herself is a teacher of presence. Trees do not rush. Rivers flow in divine timing. Mountains do not question their worth. When we walk in nature, our energy synchronizes with the planet's natural rhythm, a field of grounded harmony that restores coherence to our systems. Take time each day, even briefly, to connect with the earth, standing barefoot on the ground if you can, feeling the sun, breathing with the wind, whispering gratitude to the trees, touching the bark, listening to the quiet wisdom of stillness. And nature reminds us that presence is our natural state. And 4, practice deep listening. True presence with others begins with listening, not just to words, but to their energy, their emotions, and silence. When someone speaks, look into their eyes, feel their essence. Resist the urge to plan your next response. Hold space for their truth to unfold. Leave space for the conversation to flow. Your still attention becomes a healing frequency that allows others to feel safe and seen and certainly heard. When we listen deeply, we remember that every soul longs for connection. Our presence becomes a mirror through which others remember their own divinity. And number 5, create sacred rituals of pause. In ancient cultures, people honored the natural rhythm of a pause. Morning prayer, mealtime, gratitude, evening reflection. These moments realigned the soul with source. You can recreate this rhythm in modern form. Maybe light a candle before beginning your day. Offer gratitude before eating. Closing your day by reviewing one moment of beauty. Presence grows through repetition. When you build small sacred pauses into your day, you cultivate constancy of awareness, an unbroken thread connecting you to spirit. I find I pause during the day and sit on the floor and pet or play with my animals. I practice being present with them and with myself. Number 6, limit distractions. Technology can be both a bridge and a barrier. It's great. It helps us. But use it consciously, because when we use it consciously, it helps connect us. But used unconsciously, it begins to fracture our energy. The constant scrolling, the notifications, the background noise chatter, that scatters our attention and it weakens our energetic coherence. Consider daily digital detox windows, times when the devices are silenced, the screens are dark, and the attention returns to your immediate reality. Turn your phone face down during meals, or better yet, put it in a drawer. Maybe set boundaries on when you are gathering intake from news on the outside world. These small choices can reclaim enormous energetic power. Remember, your attention is sacred currency, so spend it wisely. Number 7, embody gratitude. Gratitude is the frequency of presence. It draws attention to the richness of what is rather than what's missing. And each time you give thanks, you reaffirm alignment with the present moment. At the end of each day, name 3 things that brought light into your heart, things that made you smile or brought joy. They don't need to be grand. Maybe it was a kind word. Maybe it was a sunset, a deep breath. It can be small. Gratitude trains the mind to see through the eyes of the soul, anchoring you in appreciation rather than striving. And number 8, be present in your own emotions. Presence isn't always comfortable. To be fully present means to feel, and that's joy as well as sorrow, fear as well as love, without turning away or running away or avoiding. Our culture often teaches us avoidance, distracting, numbing, or we gotta fix it. But every emotion carries wisdom, and when met with compassion, each one transforms into energy of healing. When sadness arises, breathe into it. When anger flares, witness it with curiosity and wonder. Where is that coming from? Say, I am here with this. This simple statement reclaims your sovereignty. It anchors you in the now and prevents emotional energy from accumulating as unresolved pain. So presence for humanity and why it matters now. Well, humanity's collective consciousness is rising, but this awakening also reveals the shadow. This division and fear and confusion is amplified on global scales. So as light intensifies, everything unhealed comes to the surface. This is not a sign of failure, it's a sign of transformation. And each time you choose presence over distraction, compassion over reaction, you contribute to planetary healing. You become a stabilizing point in the energetic web of life, a node of light transmitting peace. That certainly feels a lot better than feeling in the midst of chaos and turmoil. This is turning your energy into power. And when enough people anchor presence, a collective resonance field emerges. This field stabilizes the human heart grid, reduces chaos in the morphic fields, and allows new patterns of consciousness to form. This is how evolution happens, through collective choices of individuals who choose awareness. And presence is the quiet revolution of our time. It is how we birth the new earth, not through force, but through frequency. The planet does not need more people trying to escape the world in spiritual bypass. It needs awake humans grounded in love, breathing light into density. It needs us, and it needs us to show up. Open your eyes, open your heart, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. And when we are fully present, we become conduits of light. Our energy fields stabilize, and higher dimensional frequencies can move through us into and out to the physical world. This is what it means to be grounded light, to bring divine intelligence into embodied form. Imagine your presence as an luminous column of light connecting heaven and earth. That bridge. Each time you breathe consciously, love intentionally, or simply be with another soul in kindness, that light expands. You are literally changing the electromagnetic resonance of the planet. Presence then becomes an act of planetary service. It is a prayer in motion. As more of us ground light in this way, the collective frequency of Earth rises. Compassion becomes natural. Collaboration replaces competition, and healing becomes contagious. Presence ripples outward in ways unseen but profoundly felt. So what about presence and love? Well, these are two frequencies of the same light. Love cannot exist without presence, because to truly love, not sentimentally, but spiritually, requires full awareness. When we are present, we feel the divine essence in ourselves and others. Judgment dissolves, and we begin to see through the eyes of oneness. Presence is love in form. Love is presence in motion. And together, they are the medicine humanity needs most right now. Presence is love in form, and love is presence in motion. This is why grounding in light and love matters. The more present we become, the more love flows through us. Love is not an emotion to chase. It's a natural radiance that emerges when we are fully here. It's what happens when soul and body align. And as we move through the final days of the year with their lights and gatherings and endings, let love be the frequency you carry into every single moment. Let your presence be the gift that lights others from within. Presence is ultimately about remembering who we are, eternal beings experiencing temporary form. And when we forget this, we become lost in the noise of the world, chasing validation, fearing loss, seeking outside what lives within. But when we remember, we return home to stillness, to breath, to the infinity love always has. The mind asks, what's next? The soul whispers, be here. And presence is the bridge between those voices. In stillness, we discover that life is not something happening to us, but through us. Each moment is a sacred conversation with the divine. And when you listen deeply, you realize that nothing is missing, because every breath is enough. Presence is the greatest gift. At this time of year, as we exchange gifts and share celebrations, consider offering what can never, ever be bought: your undivided attention, your open heart, your compassionate silence, your genuine laughter, your willingness to listen, and your presence. These are the gifts that heal, that uplift, and last forever. Presence costs nothing, yet means everything. It is the love language of the soul. Imagine a world where presence becomes our most valuable offering, where families gather without distraction, friends meet without agenda, and humanity honors time as sacred space. And that world begins with us, because each of us carries the light of awareness that can ignite remembrance in others. And when you live in presence, you remind humanity what it means to be truly alive. I invite you to this moment, because the closing of 2025 is not just another end of a year. It is a portal of consciousness. And as we enter the next cycle, presence becomes our compass. The more we ground in light and love, the smoother our collective transition will be. So take this as an invitation to slow down, to breathe, to feel, to see. Be with the people you love. Be with yourself. Let go of perfection and embrace authenticity. Let this season not be about having more, but about being more aware, more compassionate, and more present. For it is through presence that we remember who we are and why we came and how profoundly interconnected we have always been. I leave you with these closing thoughts. Presence is the soul's way of saying, I am here for this life. It is how we transform ordinary moments into sacred experiences. It's how we weave heaven into earth, not through striving, but through being. And this season, you may unwrap the greatest gift of all. Maybe it's not something that fits in your hand, but something that fills your heart. May your presence be your prayer, your light, your legacy, and your love, the force that grounds healing through humanity. Because at this time in history and at this time of the year, the world doesn't need more presence. It needs you. It needs your presence. I'm Laurie Wondra of Your Life Core, and thank you for being present, for being here now, and for shining your light.
Thank you for listening to Messages from the Universe. For information about Laurie Wondra's current events or to schedule a private session, visit her website, yourlifecore.com. You can also subscribe to her monthly newsletter. Laurie also shares inspirational and informational messages on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening.